Hello and welcome to what is my third video into my journey into weaving. In this one, we're actually going to start weaving. We've got a little bit of prep work to do first, but then we'll actually be able to get on to the main event. So stick around and let's see how we do. Okay, so here we are with our loom set up and ready as it was from the end of the last video. And what we need to do is we need to get rid of these gaps here and get it looking all nice and even like it is at the back end. Now there's a couple of different ways you can go about this. The one that I'm going to use is, I've got this nice thick yarn here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weave in probably a couple of inches, or probably until this runs out, and that should hopefully even this all out, and then we'll be ready to actually get started on the weaving itself. So what we need to do is move this up here. As you can see, that has now opened up the weave here. This gap is known as the shed. So this will be your upper shed, that'll be your lower shed down there, and then back to neutral in there. So let's go for the upper shed and try and feed this through. There we go. So that'll go about there, and then we use the actual heddle itself to beat it down. So this is the weft going left to right, and the up and down, that's the warp we set up. I do love those terms, warp and weft. It makes me think of Warhammer 40k, trying to weft your way through the warp. There we are, back down to the bottom. And of course this is all completely come undone. It's probably a bit of a poor plan trying to use this, but we'll see. Now, it doesn't have to be spectacularly neat because this bit is going to be getting taken out, but I want to get into good practices. So what we do at the end here, to stop it from all pulling in, I'll just sort of give a little pinch there, pull that just so it's snug, and then, I don't know if you can see, is that an angle? Go back here. This is so when I beat it down, it actually has enough play to allow the warp threads to move around and actually give you a nice finish. So take that off again, beat that down, and into the upper. There we are. It's starting to even out already. So we'll do this a few more times and we'll get it all done. Okay, so in just quite a short space, despite me making a complete mess of everything here, it's actually done a lovely job. There, look at that, see, all nice and neat. If we drop that down into neutral, there we go. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we're about ready to start weaving. So now that we've got the loom set up and ready to go, what we need to do next is we need to get our shuttles prepped. Now luckily, in the best of Blue Peter fashion, here's one I prepared earlier. So what we need to do, this is what's going to be getting passed through the sheds, and to make things a little easier, what I recommend is rather than just going straight through the middle when you're winding it, every so often do a bit of figure of 8 around the edges, and that way, you see, it keeps it a little bit thinner. Otherwise it'll end up being really fat in the middle, and it's going to be an absolute pain to try and feed through. So, that being said, I think it's time to start weaving. Excited. Right, we have our shuttle all ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave out about 4 times the width of the working area is going to be the tail that's going to be coming off the end. This is because I'm going to need to be able to tie it off when we're all finished. I don't want to leave myself short. Now you can do this at the beginning once you've got a couple of goes through. Each run through with a shuttle is known as a pick. A very odd term. I'm still trying to get used to terminology bits and pieces myself. But yeah, so once you've done a few picks, you can, if you want, tie it off then. I'm probably going to do it later, just because I'm really excited and I want to get into this. So there we go, that should be more than enough for tying off later. I'll just hold that there so I don't lose my point. And right, let's go. So into the upper shed, here we go. Let's just give myself a bit of slack, there we are. And we feed our shuttle through. There we are, leave it at a bit of an angle, just to allow the handle to do its job. And we bring that down, a little bit of a beat, and then into the lower, and through we go, out the other side, again just a little pinch on the end here, just make sure that it doesn't pull in too much. There we go. Beat it down. And back into the upper. And there we are. That's my first 2 picks done. So I think we'll speed through this a little bit, and we'll probably come back on about, I don't know, here-ish, and we'll see how we're going. Okay, well, things are progressing along nicely. I've managed to get a good couple inches sorted out there in a fairly short space of time. I think they should progress quite nicely. Have come across one slight problem that I have noticed. Now, I don't know how well it's going to come up on the camera, but you can see there, this is where at the end where I've got it all wrapped up, and you see how it's gone into different heights. This is what we don't want to happen, because that means that some of these threads are going to be a little bit looser than others, and there's one right here that I've spotted that is sitting a bit loose. Not entirely sure how I'm going to deal with that one, but we'll carry on for now and see what happens. And yes, next time we'll see how far I've got. So, as always, look after yourself, look after others, and I'll catch you next time.